I missed out on these incredible Lego investments. Every year, right around this time, right around March, I regret not buying certain Lego sets because I do a lot of research on Lego investing. And in my last video, I shared 14 different sets that I did buy that are now turning into amazing Lego investments just a couple of months after the sets have retired. But there's always a handful of sets that I look at and then I decide not to buy, or I consider buying. People in my communities are buying and I decide not to because I'm putting money into something else. And then a couple months later, I look at the price and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should have picked up some of that set. And just from browsing, just from kind of interest and looking at prices on Amazon, eBay, and different places online now, I've been seeing some prices on sets that I knew I should have picked up that I did not buy. So that's what I'm going to talk about here today. I'm going to share 5 Lego sets that are sets that I missed. What are some sets that I wish that I picked up and I did not? And that's what we're going to do in this video. Now we're going to look at the price chart. And this, again, this is very early stages, right? We're only a couple of months into the year right now. These are sets that retired 3 months ago at the end of, in fact, it's really only 2 months ago, at the end of 2024. And we're watching the price and already we're seeing prices start to bounce up. And so those of you who've already invested in these sets, well done. You made a great choice. For me, I put money into other things, and those investments, like in my last video I showed, are doing great as well, but these are a handful that I wish that I bought. So with that, let's just jump straight in. The first one we're going to look at is a Lego Technic set. This is the Bugatti Bolide. Now, this is the blue version of this car. It's 42162 is the set number, and this was released in June of 2023, retired at the end of 2024. Just a year and a half on the shelves for this one. 905 pieces. It was a $50 Technic sets. These $50 supercar sets, in my opinion, are packed with value. Like, I just love what you get in the car for $50 here. It's action packed, it's detailed, it's fun, and there's a ton of collectability because there's a handful of these out there that buyers can go and buy. And I've done really well with some of these in the past as investments. Now, they don't always skyrocket in price, but you can always get these at good prices because for some reason they're just a set. This is like the $50 Technic supercar is just a set that always seems to go on sale, whatever the car is. It always seems to go on sale. So I was able to get some of these at $25 in the last couple of years, a couple of different times. And then you're getting it at half price. All you need is for the price to go up to 60 from 50, and you're almost doubling your money if you're getting them at half price. But this is a case where this one has simply skyrocketed in price. It is another variant of another car that still exists on the shelves today, and that is, of course, the orange version or the yellow version of the same car. That is 42151. This one is still available right now, and it is actively selling like crazy on the online marketplaces, but the blue version just recently retired and has started to become more sought after. When you have 2 variants of something like this, it's interesting because collectors can really want to try and get the other version. Something interesting happens with psychology where when something is scarce, people want it more. And when fans of the orange car or the yellow car realize that there's a blue version out there that's, a little more scarce, even when the price goes up, they're probably going to start wanting the blue one more than the yellow one. So it's kind of interesting how scarcity can impact your need for something or your want for something. So that is, it's a $50 price. But if we look at the Amazon price right now at the buy box, this set is selling for $95. So it's a $50 MSRP. Again, usually we can get them at a much better price. We're not paying full price. But even if you paid full price for this, you're doing well, right? It's almost selling for double of its MSRP within months of retirement. Again, retired at the end of 2024, and right now we are at the start of March 2025. Very, very recent retirement. To be selling for $95 shows the lack of supply that is out there on this set. Investors were snoozing on it. I think it was exclusive, so it's a little bit harder to stock up on than the yellow version. But you could have for sure gone out and gotten this. And even on Lego.com, they were selling this for $40. So you could have got a bit of a discount. If you got it for $40 right now, you're pretty much doubling your money within 2-3 months. So this turning out to be a really good investment. This is actually not one that I was considering. There's a few on this list that are sets that I was considering buying. This is not one I was looking into. I wasn't really honed in on this blue Bugatti. Those of you who were, well done. You made a great choice. All right, the next on this list of sets that I wish that I bought is the Batcave Shadow Box. This is an interesting one. This is set number 76252 in the Batman theme. When I first saw this set, when it first came out, I personally felt that it looked ugly. I wasn't a massive fan of it, but some of these really large playable sets, the large sets that have the, minifigs and they're kind of action-packed, think of the Cloud Cities or, the Ewok villages of the past, right? When you have, a real playable but expensive set with a lot of detail in it, we've seen some really solid performance on that kind of set in the past. With collectible genres or collectible brands like Batman or Star Wars, it can be a winning formula. But this is one that I personally didn't like for the first while. But then last summer, something really interesting happened. Inside of my coaching program, we have these sessions that we call the hit list discussion, where we share with each other the sets that we're buying for the year. And one of our members shared the Batcave Shadow Box as his biggest pick for the year. And he gave his reasons, and he talked about why this set was going to be a winner, how the Batmobile inside it was kind of very exclusive, and there was tons of different reasons that he gave. It put it on my radar, and for the first time I started researching this set. I really, really honed in on it. I was thinking about investing in it, but last year I tried to avoid expensive sets as a part of the way I was running my business, because I really want to fine-tune my business processes just to be a well-oiled machine, and I find it easier to ship stuff that is not $400. These larger sets just take a little bit of a different approach when it comes to storage and shipping, and my systems were set up for smaller sets last year. I was trying to stick with that on my hit list. I've done really well with large sets in the past, and I intend to do really well with large sets again in the future. But last year I decided to not invest in this set, and now the price is skyrocketing. So this is the Batcave Shadow Box. It retired in December 2024, only a year and a half on the shelves, 3,981 pieces, 7 minifigures, and the $400 MSRP. Now, if we look at the Amazon price today, it is $1,029. So this set, $400 MSRP, $400 to buy it a couple of months ago, and now $1,029. So if we look at this price chart right here, you can see that you could have got it. And Amazon, it was actually a little bit inflated even before retirement because Amazon were not selling it themselves. But you could have got it in the Lego store right up until here. And then we see that it starts to sell out in the retailers, and the price just simply skyrockets throughout the next month. Between November and the end of December, this price actually hit 1,000 right there. We can see this skyrocketing of the price, and right now it is at around that. It is stabilized right around that price, $975, but it's bouncing up and down. It recently bounced up to 1,100, and right now it's settling at 129. It will bounce back up to that 1,100 number and probably keep going because this is a scarce set now. Investors did not get in on this. Investors were not aware about this, except hopefully people inside of our coaching program, Altitude, because it was shared in our hit list discussion. But for those of you who invested in this set, well done. This was a phenomenal decision. $400 set that hopefully you got a better price on it. You got points, you got cashback, all that stuff. So maybe you got it for $350 or something like that. Gift for purchases and stuff like that. And now you're selling it for $1,100, probably more if you wait. Phenomenal investment on the Batcave Shadow Box. Well done for those who got in. Now on eBay, I know some of you are going to be like, Shane, this is just Amazon being Amazon with inflated price and everything. But even on eBay, this set is selling for $800 in recent sales. So you can see, yes, it's a little bit lower than Amazon, but the fees are also lower when you sell on eBay. So if you bought it for $350, you're selling it for $800 on eBay. They're still doing phenomenally well on the Batcave Shadow Box. So great investment. Well done for those of you who got in on it. This is a touchy one for me because I wish that I did buy it. We talked about it in that hit list discussion in Altitude. For some reason, I didn't buy it. So that's my fault. But thank you, Eric, for the suggestion to the group. I hope other members of Altitude capitalized on it. All right, so next up we have a brickhead set. Now this is another one that I know members of the communities were buying a lot of. This is the brickheads Aragorn and Arwen, Lord of the Rings. Another touchy one for me because I literally talked about this in a YouTube video last year. I called it an underrated set. I made a video that was overhyped, underhyped, and hyped the right amount. And my underhyped set was this one. I was talking about Aragorn and Arwen being massively underhyped in the Lego investing community. The community didn't realize how good of an investment this was going to be, and people weren't stocking up on it enough. And sure enough, that turned out to be right. But the problem with that is that I did not buy them. I didn't buy them. Now, I can't say it was a mistake because I knew that this was going to be a phenomenal investment. I knew that all of the Lord of the Rings brickheads were going to be some of the best investments of the entire year. I knew that. The reason I didn't buy them is because I don't want to get any less than like 100 units of anything that I buy these days, because I want to operate at that level where I'm not selling like 5 units or 10 units of something. I have larger quantities. That's the way I try to run my business now. And brickheads are harder to get larger volume of. If I was earlier in my business, if I was the first couple of years, I would be going very, very big on sets like this. Sets that I know for sure are going to be phenomenal return on investments. But because I want to operate at scale, I'm able to give up a little bit of the return on investment, get other sets that I'm able to get bigger volume of, bigger quantities of, so that I can streamline my processes, right? That's a sacrifice that I'm making intentionally. And I know that as you scale, you need to give up a little bit of return on investment by not getting sets you can't get a lot of so that you can have solid processes. So I intentionally did not buy Aragorn and Arwen. I wish, maybe I got a couple of them at one point when I was out in the shopping mall and I saw them in stores. I might have a couple lying in a tote bin somewhere, but I didn't really properly invest in this set at all. It is set number 40632, retired at the end of December and had about 2 years on the shelves. It is, of course, Lord of the Rings, which I'm the biggest. Lord of the Rings is my favorite movie trilogy of all time. I literally just this weekend was at the Return of the King with a live orchestra in Manhattan, in New York City. And that was my third one. I went to the Two Towers last year and Fellowship 2 years ago with a live orchestra. I paid stupid money for tickets because it was sold out, and yeah, like I'm a Lord of the Rings. I've seen these movies like 50 times, and I'm still paying $400 to go see it with an orchestra. But that's the level of Lord of the Rings fan I am, and I still did not invest in this. All right, Shane, what is the price? The price right now is $55 on Amazon. So this was a $20 set. It is now selling for more than double of the MSRP, and again, you should have not paid MSRP for it. You could have gotten cashback, you could have gotten gift of purchases, you could have gotten VIP points, all that stuff. If you were buying these in Lego stores, you should not have been paying full price. And now it's selling for over double that. So if you were even able to get these for $16 average or so, you're doubling your money. You're well more than doubling your money after just 2 months of hold time. This is a phenomenal investment, more than double of the MSRP within months. And it is not the only one. The other brickheads Lord of the Rings sets are similar performance. They're all doing really, really well. Gandalf and Balrog is very, very similar in price to this one, $55 on Amazon. I won't go through them all because that won't make for good TV, but they're all doing great, and I didn't really go deep on any of the three. So that is my story of Aragorn and Arwen, Lord of the Rings. Next up, the other sets that I missed out on that I wish that I bought. Next up is Jazz Quartet. This is an interesting one because I hate the look of this set. I have this thing, I probably talked about in videos before, where I just hate buildable figures in general. I hate like a lot of the Star Wars buildables and the Chewbacca set that recently retired. Like, I just don't like buildable figures. I don't think they look good with Lego bricks. And this is the same, right? I just don't like the look of this set. Just the way, like, it looks like it lacks detail massively. You've got like one big circular plate for the front of the drums. Like, the whole thing just looks so simple. And it looks like something that someone just knocked together, in a couple of hours as a mock, right? Like, it just doesn't feel premium to me. But interestingly, it's turning into a great investment. So I didn't consider this one. It was never one that I was really considering, but I know people in my community went deep on it and really believed in it. They saw the numbers, the things that we teach in our community about how to analyze the numbers. They analyzed it and they saw things that I didn't look into, and they invested in it, and now they're going to reap the rewards because this is set number 21334. The MSRP on it was 100, and it retired at the end of 2024. The price per piece was super low on this. You can see 6.2, so it was very, very good value for what you get in the box. It doesn't look to me like it has that many pieces, but the piece count is 1,606 pieces. Right now on Amazon, it is selling for $165. But the great thing about this is it has not yet hit double the MSRP, but the great thing is you could have got it on sale. And so you can even see that right here on Amazon. Right before it retired, you could have got it for 80. So now it's more than double what you could have bought it for if you were getting it at 20% off. You should have easily been able to get this for 20% off. Most of us probably got it for a much better price than 20% off. And so even if you got 20% off, it's already double of what you paid within just a couple of months. And in fact, when I look at this, actually, again, I realized that this Amazon price was the previous year. Amazon didn't seem to stock this during 2024. Here's where it retired right here. So Amazon did not have stock of it right before retirement, but you definitely could have got it in other retailers before it retired for 20% off. And within months, you can see that right here is when it started to dry up. Within, by the end of December, it was 171. So we already knew at that point this is going to be a good investment. Recently, the buy box hit 177. So this has actually come down. This 165 price is down from where it has very recently been. It will bounce back up there very soon because it's just a low baller right now. Great investment. So well done for those of you who got in on the Jazz Quartet. It is not one that I thought was going to do very well. So I'm excited for you. I'm happy for you. And another set that I missed out on, and this is one that I did consider because this is a lineup. It's a sub-theme that I've invested in the past that I know has done well in the past, and it is Duplo. It is Wild Animals of the World Duplo. This is set number 10975. It retired at the end of 2024. $130 MSRP. Now, with $130 price on a Duplo set, many of you are probably thinking there's no way I would ever invest in that because I don't believe that there's a market for that kind of expensive Duplo set. If the MSRP is 130, then for me to get a good return, I needed to go to like 230 or 200, depending on what I pay for it. Then who's going to pay $200 for an old retired Duplo set? That is probably the way a lot of Lego investors think. Because many Lego investors think that, the supply on this set was super low. And if the supply is super low and there's still demand and it's sought after, which this kind of animal set, this animal action-packed kind of Duplo set is, and there are many people out there who would happily throw $200 to just make their child happy or make their grandchild happy, then it can do well. And that's what we're seeing with this one. At 90 cents price per piece, again, price per piece, we need to look at completely differently for Duplo because you could be paying, you could pay $20 for a 20-piece Duplo set, a dollar a piece. We're seeing kind of something similar here. But right now on Amazon, this set is selling for $195. And again, you should not have paid the full MSRP of $130. Right here on Amazon, you can see it dropped to $104. You could have at least gotten it for $104 plus your cash back and everything. So you probably got it for like $100. And it's right now selling for almost double what you would have paid for it. $195 within months. So we can see that rise in the price. If we look at this, zoom in here, we can see, and actually right here, you could have got it for $72 around Black Friday. So if you bought this for $72 right now, you're doubling your money. Like even after fees, after all your costs, you're doubling your money. And folks, this is what I keep saying. It's about paying the right price. It's about having deal alerts and bots and being in the community so that you're aware when that $72 price hits, you go and buy 200 of these. And there you go. You've got a business, right? That's all it takes is to get the right price on good inventory. And don't go pay the $130 MSRP. Even if you paid $130 on this one, you are breaking even now. You're making a little bit of money even after fees. But if you paid that $72 price right there, you're making a phenomenal return on investment right here. If you bought 10 of these, it would have cost you $700. And after, even after fees, you're doubling your money. You're probably making $700 of profit. But if you bought 100 of these, you're probably going to make somewhere around $7,000 or $8,000 in profit, even after paying fees. Will you sell 100 of them? Absolutely. Because you can see the green line here shows the sales volume and it is moving. And the supply is super low on it. So you would certainly sell a lot of these if you have stock of it. So for those of you who bought Wild Animals of the World, well done. I did not buy this one. I bought previous Wild Animals Duplo sets, but I did invest in this one. So well done for those of you who got it. And that is 5 Lego sets that recently retired that I missed out on. There are tons more. These are just 5 that I saw when I was just browsing and I remembered, I thought about that set at one time, and here I am regretting not buying it. But some of these are ones that I was really thinking about buying. I looked at Wild Animals of the World. I decided to put money into something else. I looked at Batcave Shadow Box. I decided not to buy a $400 set last year. I looked at, of course, I even talked about in videos Aragorn and Arwen about how underhyped it was, and I still did not invest in it because I didn't want to put the work in to get 100 units or 200 or 500 units of it. People in my community got hundreds of those and are now, doing phenomenally well. So Well done for those of you who bought these. Let me know in the comments down below if you picked up any of these sets or if you thought about picking them up. What other sets did you wish that you bought from last year? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to learn more about Lego investing, make sure to grab the 5-step guide for free in the description down below as well. That'll show you the process that I use to build and scale my Lego investing business to 6 figures. And make sure to hit that subscribe button when you're down there. Once again, thank you so much for being here. I'm Shane from brickbucks.net, and make this your year to lift off and be free.